My name is Nadzri Hashim. I'm the Group Head of Engineering AirAsia. I currently work in Red Q headquarters KLIA 2, and I've been with AirAsia for about 15 years. I'm a professional aeronautical engineer, and then, I have started my career in Malaysia since 1987. We work on aeroplane, primarily as a development engineers. It's because we are driven by data. AirAsia is driven by data, so it's part of my responsibility to make use of data and develop data into something else, something much better for use of by AirAsia. Primarily, I look after the airworthiness of the plane, meaning to say to make sure that the plane landed safely. The aeroplane is airworthy, but how does data work with airworthiness? So what we do is that we engineer the data from the plane to ground, and then from ground, then the engineers will make use for it. Will make use to troubleshoot, make use to define the safety level, making use of the data for many purposes. Well, for sure, there will be challenges when it comes to data, especially data that we acquire from the plane. First, at the beginning, people do not understand how to use those data. So we were stuck into just putting data and making it like graphs, and then interpret the graphs. So typical conventional way, the aeronautical way. But then we don't want to stop at that. So there are people from all over the world who come to us, and then they introduce many things that we can use from this data. One of at the beginning, when we started using data, there was this company from France, and he was working on using data in court. So we were involved with him just to convert all the flight data into something that can be used in court. So it's kind of like a very slow development at the beginning, but after that we just grew into using aircraft data to drive many other areas. In another field, data was used to calculate how much we pay to General Electric engines, and so it makes data become very crucial for us to process. It's not just for daily use, but it's also for what we pay in the end. So of course there are challenges. When we do these challenges, when people do not understand at first. Second, how clean is the data? How do we make the data hygienic, in a way? How can we make this data ready to be used immediately? The second challenge is how fast we put this data in. How at the early stage of aeroplane development, we have to deploy people to go and get the cards, CF cards, and to bring back to the office and process the data. So the entire process of analyzing the data is about a week. Therefore, we are late by a week. So whatever going to happen to the aircraft, especially the engines, we do not know until a week later. So this is one of the first challenges that we face in acquiring the data. The second, the other challenge that we face in processing the data is what can we do with the data beyond just a report. Today, we have reliability report, but we use data beyond reliability report. It's not just a display. It's not just a report. It's not just that we present in the meeting. This is the trend. It's not enough. We just want to make use data beyond that. So what is that? So we wanted to make use data to troubleshoot aeroplane. We want to make use data to plan what we want to do ahead, before it happens. So there will be plenty more challenges that we will face when we are processing data. Currently, we are also working on how to expedite algorithm. Yes, there are data, but there is also how to make use of the data, and I simplify it as algorithm. Now, today, the algorithm that we have takes time for it to develop. It depends on the type of data that we get, and then from there, they write an algorithm how to predict what can happen to the plane. And it's taking a lot of time to get the right algorithm. So now we are working with many other parties in the world. How can we expedite algorithms on predictive maintenance? This has been a challenge for every company that willing to do predictive maintenance. This is where the future is. Another thing that we face with data is that not enough data. You have the data, but the data that is significant to your processes, to your machine learning, is not there. So how do you look for data? How do you define that the data required? We have a machine learning that doesn't work because it's not you. They have the data, but the data is not significant enough to prove a trend. So it becomes traditional and not helping out at all. So we have to work with them to dismantle the process so that we get the right data to predict.